Hey guys, I just had to come on. I wasn't even planning on making a video today, but I had to come on because I realized how it makes sense to believe that everyone is you pushed out, and how it makes sense to believe that you are God. Because previously I didn't really understand those concepts because I was just thinking of them like in the rational terms of like everybody is not me pushed out. Like I am not taking responsibility, or I'm not gonna think that I know what other people think. Like that sounded like crazy talk. And then as far as saying like I am God, I was like, that sounds so narcissistic. Like how could somebody go around saying like or thinking in their mind I am God without sounding like they're totally nuts, right? But okay, so then I started reading a therapy book. It's actually a really old one called The Structure of Magic, and when I first got it from Half Price Books, it was a long time ago, and I thought it was a book about like structuring like petitions if you were trying to learn how magic works, or prayer or anything like that, how to like actually structure like positive affirmations and things like that. I thought it was about that type of like structuring sentences, but it ended up being a book that was teaching therapists how to actually find their clients' limiting beliefs, and they were looking for things like deletions and presuppositions, and it gets into all of this like grammatical type of stuff. But what I really started to figure out from it is that a lot of these people, they go into therapy and they'll say things like, I can't stand up for myself because if I stand up for myself, then he is going to think I'm a bad person, or he's going to be upset at me. And so these people are presupposing, they in their mind they think that they already know what that other person thinks. So since we're doing this all the time anyways, why not think that people are thinking positive things? So then it doesn't make you depressed because these people are going in therapy and they're depressed because they think that people are thinking really bad things all the time. And so the therapist is trying to get them to just be neutral and say, so how do you know that that's what they're thinking? Like, how do you know that if you stand up for yourself, like what makes you know that they're gonna be upset at you or think you're bad because you stood up for yourself? And so then they look at the person's index, is what it's called. So the person has previous experiences, or it could just be one experience with one particular person that they're using as a reference point to think that they know what other people are thinking. So the therapist is trying to get them just to come to the conclusion that maybe they don't know what everybody else is thinking. But this proves the point of everybody is you pushed out from your perception point. Based on your index of things that have happened in your life, and based on like whatever reference point you're focusing on, people think that they know what somebody else is thinking, and then they'll use that as a limiting belief structure in their mind that'll keep them in a state of depression, or keep them, thinking that they can't stand up for themselves or whatever their issue is. And so, yeah, you might as well just think that everybody is you pushed out, and then think that that you don't have to believe that they're thinking negative stuff. And if you don't want to do that, at least be neutral and recognize the fact that you can't read minds. And you're just using like previous indexes of like, almost like you have a little Rolodex. Do you guys remember the little Rolodexes with the index cards that people used to keep for phone numbers of contacts? So you're going through these files in your mind of these previous experiences, and you're pulling them out, and you're using them as a reference point of what you think is going to happen in the future. So that's why I get it now. If you want to have good results and be happy, you might as well understand that from your perspective, everybody is you pushed out. There are, in your mind, you're projecting what they think based upon what you've already experienced in your life. And that's just what we do as humans. So we might as well just make this work for us if we're doing it anyways, right? So we can save a lot of money on therapy. That's so funny. Or at least just be neutral, okay? At least just be like, I'm not a mind reader. Maybe they don't get upset with me. Maybe they're just busy or whatever. Maybe it's got nothing to do with me. Like, just be open-minded, okay? I just saved you guys so much money on therapy right now. And then the other concept of you being God, it sounds so crazy, but if we look at this previous example of how people are just using their reference point and their index of experiences, then you can understand that you can only perceive from your mind, so therefore that makes you God of your world, of your universe, of your life. If I went on an interview or a date and I'm thinking thoughts and I'm saying things, am I not the only one that's doing the action and thinking the things in my life? Yeah, it's only me. Like, nobody's magically putting thoughts into my head, right? Like, not even aliens. Like, there is nobody else thinking in my mind besides me, okay? So you can still believe that you have a connection with the source or a higher power than yourself, but you have to realize that in your life, you're the operative force. You're the one that's doing the things. You're the one that's thinking the thoughts, and you are the one that has the power to change things. Because when we have a limiting belief that we are not powerful, that there's some outside force that's doing everything to us, then that's when we get a victim mentality, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because we don't think that we have the power to change things for ourselves. So that's how that all works, and that's why you might as well just believe that you are the God of your world, of your life, and everyone is you pushed out. Those are really easy ways to explain a concept that is like a chapter long. We're just explaining a very detailed concept in a couple of words. That's all it is. So that's why I couldn't understand, and I thought it sounded so weird to go around thinking everybody is you pushed out and you're the God of your own world, or you are God. I was like, that's so weird. But now I get it. I finally get it. So the other thing that I would say to do is, if you want to find your limiting beliefs, then so you do some nice visualization at night and you visualize the things that you want, but then when you wake up in the morning, write down the thoughts you're thinking as soon as you wake up. Because this was my problem, is that I would go to bed thinking about really nice things, and then I would wake up and I'd be like, well, where is it? It's not here yet. And then I would get really depressed and I would start thinking about all these limiting beliefs. And so I realized, well, that's the perfect time just to write it down and flip it around and make those into positive affirmations, and use those positive affirmations instead of a generic positive affirmation that you don't necessarily even relate to, because it's not overcoming your block or your limiting belief. So do that, identify your own specific blocks or limiting beliefs, flip it around to the positive, and then you'll be golden. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys an example. So if I wrote down my negative thoughts today were, then I'm gonna change that to, I woke up feeling great. right? Or like my positive thoughts today were, okay? And then if I wrote waking up feeling depressed, I would just put I'm waking up feeling happy. Or instead of saying feeling lonely, I would say I feel loved, right? A lot of it is like feelings and not necessarily I am statements. So instead of saying like I feel lonely, then start saying I feel loved, right? Or feeling like it's not working, change that to it's working fast. Feeling like I'm powerless, why not change that to I am God of my own life? Caveat. Or feeling like this person thinks that I'm bad, change that to this person thinks I'm good, or at least I don't know what this person is thinking because I'm not a mind reader. And like, let's just keep it neutral, right? Okay. But I like to go the positive route. So instead of what I woke up thinking that this person thinks I'm bad, I'm gonna wake up and think, or I'm gonna change that in my notebook, this person thinks I'm good. Or I'm feeling anxious would be I feel in control. That has to do with the root chakra. So that's another thing you can work on if you have feelings of being powerless or out of control or anxious, then you work on your root chakra. Feeling victimized or feeling like a victim, you would change that to I feel successful. Feeling like life is unfair, you would change that to recognizing that you live a blessed life. I know I do. I am extremely blessed and fortunate. Feeling like you're unworthy, you just change that to I am worthy, or I feel worthy. Feeling negative, you change that to I am positive, or I feel positive. And so you can just totally keep on writing those positive affirmations that you wrote for yourself, and then you'll really be somewhere because you will systematically have basically rewritten all of your limiting beliefs about yourself. So I hope that this was helpful. If you're still here watching this video, obviously you got some value out of it, so hit like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I post more videos. Thank you. Bye.